Hello, I'm Tylah Tully, and today I'm joined by GTI Energy Executive Director and CEO Bruce Lane. President Trump has just announced a raft of executive orders to accelerate growth in the US nuclear industry. Bruce, what does this mean for projects like yours?
Oh, look, it's very positive for projects like ours, Tyler. There's probably three or four orders that are of real significance. And if we go back to March, there was an order about accelerating minerals production. That was the first one that also affected uranium and introduced accelerated permitting options for projects. And then this last round of orders, there's two of major significance. One is the acceleration of nuclear power production, and they've identified 10 new sites for power plants, and I think it's on Department of Energy and Department of Defence sites, and then an uprating of existing plants by another 5 gigawatts. So that's 15 gigawatts of new nuclear power. And what that means in uranium terms is that every gigawatt requires about £500,000 a year to run the reactor, and every new reactor requires 3 times that £500,000 to get it started. So it equates to probably around £20 million, maybe more if you take over a period of time. It's a lot more than that. But the US consumes £50 million at the moment, so that's a very significant increase by 2030. That's a really meaningful support from the administration. And then the other order is about accelerating or improving the nuclear fuel supply chain. And that has direct implications for the mining and milling of uranium, which of course is the part of the cycle that we're involved in. So look, all in all, extremely positive for the industry, and we're just watching how that policy or those executive order directions roll out now in reality on the ground.
And can you tell us more about Wyoming and the advantages you see operating there?
Yeah, Wyoming's one of 4 agreement states in the US that's very comfortable with uranium permitting, and particularly with in-situ recovery permitting, which is what our project is. So the administration in Wyoming is very adept, if you like, at permitting these projects and supportive. It's a very big mining state, the second largest energy state in the US after Texas, and they're very reliant on the income from minerals and hydrocarbons and coal production to support the state's spending. So they're very supportive, and really we're just waiting to see how they specifically are going to react to the Trump executive orders around accelerating of permitting. But so far there has been some very positive signs, and we look forward to that permitting process being a little faster perhaps than we would have otherwise thought.
And how does Lo Herma compare to other projects in Wyoming?
Look, it's in the southern Powder River Basin. The projects around us are all alkaline in-situ leach ISR projects, and so our project looks pretty much like those other projects. And from the operating cost and capital cost point of view, our project is stacking up to look very similar to those projects. We're of a scale that we think is economic, and we'll hopefully be able to point to that through the scoping study that comes out soon. And we think it sits very nicely amongst our peers.
You've mentioned your scoping study. That's set to come out this quarter. Can you give us an idea on timing and talk us through any other goals and deliverables that you're aiming for this year?
Yeah, look, we're weeks or less away from the scoping study. It's almost ready to go out. So we'll look out for that. And beyond the scoping study, what we're hoping it will demonstrate very clearly is that it's worth investing further in the project. And so that will lead to a field program this summer, which helps to upgrade the confidence levels in the resource and hopefully expand the size of the resource. And then from there, it's really about getting on with permitting and getting towards construction of the well fields and the mill.
It's definitely exciting times for the uranium sector. Thanks for joining us, Bruce.
Thanks, Tyler. It was good to talk, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.